Alright, next I'm going to explain to you about the structural system of the steel framing. Okay, as you all know, there are three main components that are going to produce our structural system. Which the first one is the steel column, of course, uh, with beam. In this case, is steel. And the last part that make the structural system is our flooring system. So the uniqueness about the steel framing system, in terms of the flooring system, it's not necessary for you to use steel flooring system as well. So if you also can combine with the, of course, the traditional flooring system, or of course you can use precast as part of your flooring system. So normally the steel beam and columns are manufactured in the form of I and H cross section. Okay, so that's the common forms of steel beam and masuk column. Okay, dalam bentuk I and so H cross section. Okay, jarang ada bentuk M atau Z lah. So normally is in the form of I and also H. So as I mentioned earlier, the uniqueness about the steel is that it can be combined with other materials. So in this case, the flooring system, it's not necessary for you to use steel framing system also. So you can combine your flooring system by using, in this case, precast concrete slab. So it's either precast plank or precast hollow core slab, it doesn't matter. So if you use precast concrete slab, the process is that after you complete the installation of steel column and beam, when it comes to the process of flooring system, first step that you need to follow is that you have to lay down the precast concrete slab first. So it's either you're using precast plank, or of course, so in this example I give you, we are using precast plank lah. Okay, so after you finish installing the steel column and beam, so when come to the flooring system punya process, firstly you have to lay down the precast plank that you're going to use. So you have to install the precast plank. So after that, after you finish erecting or installing the precast plank, your next step you have to lay down the BRC. Okay, so the reinforcement mesh. Okay, so you have to lay down the BRC. So after that, the last step, you are going to pour concrete on top of the precast plank. Okay, so the when the concrete has hardened, it will become a permanent structure. Okay, so in this case, the precast plank and also the hardened concrete will be bond together using the installed shear stud, or what we call it, steel lattice girder. Okay, so during the installation of precast plank, nanti dia akan install what we call it as a shear stud during the grouting process. And after that, you have to install the BRC and then you pour the concrete on top of that. So in this case, we don't need we don't need formwork. Okay, because the precast plank itself will have a function as a formwork as well. Okay, so after the concrete has hardened, so they become a permanent structure. Okay, so this type of flooring system is suitable to be used on a monolithic construction. Okay, monolithic construction ni means for a long span punya flooring system, massive punya sizes, wide span dan sebagainya. So it's very suitable to be used when you use this flooring system from precast concrete slab. So this flooring system also can save up to 25% of your cost. So how you can reduce this cost? Of course, during the installation process, and also you can reduce this cost when for formwork punya cost lah. So because this this flooring system didn't require you to use formwork. Okay, so that's the first scenario or the first type of flooring system that you can use. Okay, the second type of flooring system is you are using what we call it as a steel decking as a composite slab. Okay, um, so in this case you're going to use steel deck, and the steel deck must be in the corrugated shape. Okay, as you can see in this diagram, corrugated means beralun. Okay, the beralun. Okay, so why we need to use a corrugated steel sheet? Because when you use this flooring system, you don't need reinforcement bar. Okay, so sorry, gambar ni salah pilih pula. Okay, actually when you use steel deck, you don't need BRC, because steel deck itself will have function as a reinforcement bar. Okay, so the corrugated shape will help you to support the wet concrete when you pour the concrete on top of the steel deck. Okay, so again, after the concrete has hardened, it will become a permanent structure. Again, you don't need formwork for this steel deck punya flooring system. But in this flooring system, you have to have what you call it as a supporting beam. Okay, bawah flooring system you tu you kena pasang secondary beams as a support. Okay, so dalam notes tu you boleh see the example of the secondary beams lah. Dia ada certain sizes, okay, between 2.5 meter to 3.5 meters. You have to install secondary beams as a support. Okay, because you only use steel deck. Steel deck ni tak adalah tebal mana kan. Okay, so that's what we call it as a structural system. In this part, the most important component is the flooring system. Okay, it's either you're using precast concrete or steel deck as a composite slab.